So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. Hi, everyone. My name is Lewis. I'm here representing the BoSTEM initiative here at United Way of Massachusetts Bay. I support that initiative as the coordinator, so help connect students with our STEM professionals and STEM professionals with our students. Today, we're here to talk about a STEM company that's new to the BoSTEM family called WowSTEM. I don't want to say too much because our special guest is going to introduce their company, their role, and all the exciting things happening at their organization. But with me today is Madelyn. Madelyn is here from WildStem. Madelyn, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Madelyn Leembruggen. I'm the president and one of the co-founders of WowSTEM. WowSTEM is short for A World of Women in STEM. So what we do is we make videos and write blog posts and come up with fun activities to help students really explore the amazing world of STEM and all of the women who have been a crucial part of the STEM fields throughout history.
Absolutely. Awesome. Exciting. So students, as you just heard from Madelyn, we're going to jump into a little bit of history, try to find some historical connections to women in STEM and how you can kind of envision yourself in STEM as well. So Madelyn, to kind of kick off our interview, tell us about the mission and the history of your organization. You are the co-founder. What was kind of the inspiration behind founding WildStem?
Yeah, so our mission is to celebrate the lives and accomplishments of women in STEM throughout history. So I was really inspired I started digging in and researching some of the scientific questions I had, and I realized that a lot of the people who had made great progress throughout history were women who don't really get to be celebrated as much as they should be. So women have always been involved in the STEM fields, and so many of our everyday technologies are only possible because of their discoveries. So at WOW STEM, we want to challenge people's perceptions of what counts as STEM and who counts as like a STEMist. There are so many cool things to be discovered about nature and technology. And the only requirement for being a person who does STEM is to be curious and to be dedicated. So we love looking throughout history and seeing all the women who have contributed in that way and looking around us and seeing who's doing that now so that we can inspire more people to get involved in the future.
Absolutely. Definitely aligns with Boston, right? Trying to push our students to be inspired because it's such a rewarding kind of field to jump into. Thanks for
Right.
that. Madelyn, I have another question for you. So how do you kind of make STEM fun and engaging for students, considering that it is kind of challenging? Perseverance is kind of like a big thing. The growth mindset is something in the Boston world that we like to push to our students. So kind of share with us, how do you and your organization make STEM fun and engaging for students?
Yeah, our primary goal is that we believe in storytelling and hands-on exploration. So we want to make sure that students are really engaged and involved because they're genuinely interested in the story of it, and they get to see how things work with their own eyes, they get to build things with their own hands. So each of our posts tells the story of a subject's life and the historical context of their research, but we also dive into the science of their discoveries so that students can really appreciate the creativity and curiosity that these women had. And each of our posts also comes with links to online simulations or worksheets and at-home experiments for students to do with their grown-ups. So whether you're really someone who learns through history and storytelling, or maybe you like science and math a lot, or you like exploring and getting your hands dirty, or like some combination of any of these things, we have something for everyone. And we're really excited to like be engaging on all of these fronts.
That is so exciting. I know that you mentioned adults as well getting in on the fun and learning with their students. Such a great approach.
Absolutely. That's
That was
always the most fun when you and your grown-up can learn something new together, and figure out new ways to learn things, not just learn
yeah.
the thing itself, but figure out how to learn together. I think that's so much fun.
Absolutely. I love that. So, it has me thinking about, some of the skills that you're really trying to get at. You mentioned exploration and kind of collaborating, working with different parties. How does your organization relate to the everyday lives of students and families, considering that STEM is so diverse and there's so many entry points to make it relatable? How does your organization kind of relate on an everyday basis for students?
Yeah, so we always try to frame the science that we talk about in the like with respect to a person's everyday life. So technology that you're using every day, or just things about the way that the world around you works. We're constantly surrounded by tech and by science. And so at WowSTEM, we ground our scientific discussions in those types of relatable examples. So what is the science between those semiconductors that go into your phone and computer chips? How do the plants around us grow and like know what season it is and when the right time to bloom is? So we always try to start with a question that anyone could come up with, and anyone might think to themselves, I wonder how that works. And our experiments are also designed to be completed with objects from around the house to really emphasize that science can be done on any scale. And like I've mentioned, so much of the science that was done by women throughout history were these types of questions that like anyone could come across, or experiments done with resources that were readily available to women who might not have always had the same access as other scientists at the time.
It's almost like following in the footsteps of like icons and legends. So exciting.
Exactly. It's really about curiosity, and we hope that students who use our resource develop a deep sense of curiosity and start to ask questions about the things that they see around them, and the things that they encounter every day. So that's really the way that we frame our scientific discussions.
Love that. Super engaging, super exciting. So, I mean, Madelyn, what's your favorite part about all that you have to offer students and families? I mean, there's so many different ways for folks to kind of tap into your resources. How do you kind of celebrate, or what do you find to be your favorite resource?
So for me, my favorite thing about WowSTEM is how visually engaging our designs are. I really like that STEM can be rigorous, impactful, and fun to look at. So we have a team of artists who do such a beautiful job of bringing these stories to life. So I really love seeing all the illustrations and diagrams and figures that our teams come up with to help explain these complex subjects, and also to help us feel connected to the people whose stories we're telling.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So how do people access your resources? Do they just jump on your website? How do they do that exactly?
Yeah, you can find us online at wowstem.org. We're also on Facebook as a World of Women in STEM, and we're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at WowSTEM.
Awesome. So students, families, if you're interested, if you want to kind of bring STEM into your home, definitely explore their resources. Madelyn, I'm getting excited just thinking about all the possibilities of students having those light bulb moments with their parents. Thank you so much for sharing. As we're winding down to our interview here, I'm thinking about, some of these students that are tapping into the STEM industries. We know that, STEM fields are really trying to build a diverse workforce. And so we understand that diversity amongst the STEM fields is important. My question to you is, why is it important for diverse students to get into STEM?
So STEM discoveries are made by curious people who are able to think about problems in different and creative ways. And so this means that thinking differently and coming from a diverse background is a superpower in STEM. So the more people who get involved in STEM, the more we'll learn and invent and explore. And having STEMists with diverse life experiences, different daily issues, and different problem-solving techniques makes STEM stronger and more meaningful. Besides that, it's also really important for diverse students to get into STEM because they belong in STEM. Their ancestors have a scientific legacy, and every group of people from across the globe and throughout history has engaged in scientific thinking and innovation. So STEM truly belongs to all of us, and we all deserve to be part of the future of STEM.
Such a powerful, powerful message. Oh, wow. It has me thinking about my last question for you, Madelyn. Advice for students. I know that this is a little bit overwhelming. Some folks might jump into your resources and say, oh my gosh, I want to do this, I want to do that. What would be your advice to students kind of approaching the STEM fields, or just in general, as they kind of navigate this journey into a career pathway? What would be your advice to students pursuing STEM?
Yeah, I'd say follow your curiosity and don't be afraid to reach out with questions or to ask for advice. And if you get stuck, take a step back and try thinking about things from a different perspective. It's incredibly rare to solve a problem on your first try, so it's important to be persistent, and you might end up finding something, some aspect of STEM that's a really good fit and really engages you. So if you don't find it right away, keep trying, but in the end, just follow the questions and follow your curiosity.
Absolutely. So much to take home. Students' curiosity, definitely just, kind of reflecting on what Madeline is sharing. Let that be your GPS. If you're really trying to understand what's out there, curiosity is going to be your first starting point. And as we hear, perseverance is definitely a piece of that. Madeline, I just want to thank you so much for kind of bringing your perspective. While STEM is a tremendous organization, bringing focus, like you mentioned, to a piece of STEM that not many folks are really diving into as far as history, skills application, and bringing that into the home and making it really relevant. So thank you for existing. Thank you for also giving your time and advice for students who are, interested in following in your footsteps or just wanting to kind of elevate their skill development. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for taking time to chat with us. We're really excited to share about what we've created and get the word out about our resource.
Absolutely. Students, as you know, I'm here as a resource. So if you want to be connected to folks at WowSTEM, feel free to reach out to your adults, your educators, connect us to BoSTEM, and we can go ahead and get this conversation going either offline or in another fun, engaging way. But thank you again, Madeline, so much for sharing about your organization, WowSTEM.
Absolutely. Thank you.